Welcome to the grand finale of humanity. And folks, we are feeling peachy. It's like last call and we found an unattended bottle of top shelf bourbon. Forget survival, folks, that's child's play. Today, we are playing judge, jury, and comedic executioner of the apocalypse's finest assortment of gun-toting eccentrics. So grab your flamethrower, folks. It's time to ignite some apocalyptic egos.
In most places, they call this a war crime.
Venture into the frostbitten no man's land of America's Hat and you'll find the myth, the legend, the flannel crusader. Imagine the love child of Paul Bunyan and every hipster's wet dream draped in enough plaid to make a lumberjack blush and a Grantham devotee stage an intervention for excessive lumber sexual flaunting. Canada, with your weird little blend of maple syrup and moose mating grunts, you've given us a survivalist archetype that smells vaguely of poutine, I think, and unfulfilled hockey dreams.
One more Neutrogena tantrum out of you and you're getting the gate, bud. Try me.
When the Great White North finally waved goodbye to the mighty AR-15, our hero didn't just weep into his Tim Hortons.
Oh, Canada! That's not good.
No, sir. He channeled his inner Quebecois rebel and decided that he would ne doit pas ça conformer and wipe front to back with Trudeau's edict like it was 3-ply Charmin at an Indian restaurant's bathroom. His weapon of choice? Well, that's gonna be a recce rifle tricked out like a suburban dad's first minivan. Hefty, yet oddly cherished. Those scarce 30-round Canadian AR mags were not seized, but rather politely acquired amidst a mild bureaucratic kerfuffle / standoff because of manners.
I'm gonna poke you. Poke me back. I love you like a brother. More to come. Got it!
His camouflage tactic? Well, it's blending into a crowd, and that's a tall order when you're the lone soul wearing khaki-cry G3 cargo pants amidst a sea of denim-clad Nickelback aficionados. Stumble upon him, and the last thing you'll hear before a polite obliteration is, "Seemed you got a bit of a situation there, eh?" And that's your cue before he goes full Canuck Rambo on you. In the end, we judge Flannel Crusader as a bit of an eyebrow raiser trying to outshine Canada's prime export. And that, of course, is Justin Bieber.
Do you like seeing stuff more than not seeing stuff? I know I do. If so, then check out tmvc.com for all your seeing stuff needs, because we'll be seeing you tonight.
Yeah! Hold on to your trucker hats, folks, because galloping out of the manicured lawns of suburbia comes our next apocalypse archetype, the suburban cowboy. This fella is as obvious as a fart in an elevator, strutting around with a tactical lever-action rifle so blinged out you could mistake it for the new line of Kardashian at-home vajazzle kits. Available now at the finest stores. Get yours now before the end of the world. Suburban Cowboy takes pride in organizing his ammo by obscurity, like 45 Government, 730, or 36 Buckhammer. These calibers feel more like you're trying to trick me into learning the Dewey Decimal System rather than preparing me for the apocalypse. Well, forget it. Honestly, if I wanted to feel this confused and frustrated, I'd just attend a Moms Demand Action rally at the local boxed wine bar. Nerds! Ha ha! Look at him strapping handguards onto a platform that's more outdated than Napster. Buddy, what's next? Slapping a spoiler on a horse-drawn carriage? It's like giving a VHS player a Blu-ray update. Utterly heroic, but painfully misguided. You're trying to innovate in a category that's about as cutting edge as a butter knife at a steakhouse, bud. Does he have training? Sure, if you count the marathon sessions of Red Dead Redemption 2, where he's convinced his thumb-slinger degree will translate into real life. You'll find him at the range attempting to quick draw his Uberti single-action army faster than he draws conclusions, both with dangerously low accuracy. Speaking of drawing, his chances of survival are scribbled in crayon at the kid's table low, with a big old smiley face for optimism. Now we judge the suburban cowboy a participation ribbon in human form and more useless than decaf coffee. He's trying to live out a Wild West fantasy in the cul-de-sac, half John Wayne, half calamity, whole punchline in survival's cruel joke. Am I just being a smug dickhead this entire time? Is that what's happening here?
Yup!
Behold the bougie bunker dweller, the prepper who mistook the purge for a documentary and whose idea of roughing it is when the wine fridge goes above 65 degrees and his pressed polo shirts start to wrinkle. Coddling his Vietnam-era bling like Gollum with a diamond, this HOA overlord believes societal status will shield him from the apocalypse. Tactical readiness? Please. His idea of combat is navigating the prenup with wife number 3. Tactical gear? Yeah, not unless you count the latest Ralph Lauren polo collection as tactical. His best evasive maneuver is hiding from his 2 ex-wives' demand for child support. His chances of survival are dangling lower than your grandpa's baby-making storage containers while he reads the Sunday newspaper while wearing only his robe. That's gross. Bougie, oh bougie, we judge you so dense that light bends around you. Your survival acumen is so catastrophically lacking that you could turn a survival guide into an obituary. Your sense of preparation is eclipsed only by your delusions of grandeur, and in the end, your star's gonna fade faster than your last marriage, remembered only as a cautionary tale in apocalyptic folklore.
Get bent.
That's my 3rd monocle this week. I simply must stop being so horrified.
Behold, our nocturnal knight, the nods guy who thinks moons out, goons out is in fact a lifestyle. Paying 39% interest on his buy now, pay later nods is a sly financial maneuver, buddy. After 150 easy payments of $99.99, he now owns the knight and has pioneered a new depth for credit score plummets. Ha ha! Oof.
I'm broke, man. My life sucks.
This dude has more night vision gear than sense, but he's sure that his 1 semester of JROTC gives him the tactical edge in any engagement. His skill level is somewhere between a raccoon with undiagnosed ADHD and that one friend who claims they're strategically inclined because they've watched Navy SEALs starring Charlie Sheen at least 12 times.
You guys are incredible. Thank you.
There's no reason to thank us because we don't exist.
Our shadowy hero roams the night, an unsung defender of suburbia, and definitely not creeping through your hedges with less than notable intentions. Yeah. His survival odds are about as slim as finding dignity in his midnight escapades. He is doomed to nosedive the second his horde of lithium batteries gives out because heaven forbid using regular AA batteries in an apocalypse and admitting defeat. Thus, our verdict on the nods guy is his epic saga ends not with a bang, but with the whimpering death of his battery pack. A stark reminder that not all heroes wear capes. Some wear crippling debt.
Hi, I'm poor.
The apocalypse mall cop, the type of hero you get when the local security company drops its standards lower than your buddy's drunk text to his ex at 2 a.m. Imagine our hero decked out in a tactical vest that screams, "I got scammed" on Wish.com, wielding pepper spray so weak it wouldn't even make Sean Evans flinch. Oh yeah, and let's not forget that J-frame revolver awkwardly jammed in their sock.
Why are you the way that you are?
This is their just in case the apocalypse is today kit. They've sworn an oath, possibly to a mannequin audience, to defend their premier strip mall in Denton County, Texas against all odds, be it Armageddon or a slight drizzle. Their ambition? Well, it's to be a bona fide police officer, but alas, their aim was akin to stormtroopers consistently earning most likely to rescue the hostage from life during simulations. When civilization crumbled, they stood fast, ready to shield Bed Bath & Beyond from the harbingers of doom. That is until their patrol vehicle, a Prius that screamed, "I'm eco-friendly and easy to flip," was swiftly repurposed into a communal art project and Molotov cocktail target. Now, amidst the smoldering remnants of retail glory, there they stalk, demanding receipt checks with all the authority of a dystopian hall monitor. Mall cop, we judge you so deeply discounted, your legacy will be as durable as the pleather on your bargain vest, fleeting and somewhat cringy. And no, you cannot see my ID. Here we see the so-called United Nations peacekeeper strolling through the apocalypse with all the moral authority of a TV evangelist caught at a Vegas strip show. Yeah, these are the folks who, before the world went to hell in a handbasket, wondered out loud, probably in a cafe somewhere in Europe, sipping espresso, why anybody would ever need to own a gun. Flash forward to the apocalypse, and now they're decked out with enough armament to invade, peacekeep almost any country on Earth. Skill level? Let's call it iffy. Threat level? Through the roof. Why, you ask? Well, because nothing screams target like stomping around American soil wearing bright blue hats trying to enforce European values on Americans.
I made a huge tiny mistake.
I'm sure it'll probably be fine. Americans, I heard, love it when foreign countries tell us what to do.
What did he say?
Wait a second. I'm getting word from the booth and some clarification. It looks like no, Americans don't like being told what to do and look forward to kinetically telling Europeans to shut the f***. It's hard to evaluate the UN Smurf Brigade because its choice of weapons seems to depend solely on how much its homeland valued defense spending before things went sideways. Dealing with Germany? Well, you're talking then Leopard 2s and HK-416s. Moldova, on the other hand, well, then you're probably looking more at a heavy rock sharp stick situation.
Fight me, haters! Fight me, haters!
Their survival odds in America? Yeah, well, that's gonna be kind of comparable to a popsicle's chance in hell. They'll try to pacify Texas and they'll end up the unintended guest of honor at a cannibal warlord's power brunch complete with baked beans and a shot of whiskey. Oh, and Alabama? Yeah, by the time they decipher what Southern hospitality truly means, they'll be living out their own, less whimsical version of deliverance. Spoiler, it's not the banjos they need to worry about. UN peacekeepers, listen up. We judge you guys the wild card of the SHTF deck. Not the ace or even the deuce, but that old Joker card. You know, the one that's frayed and coffee stained, and most importantly, the one nobody wants to deal with. Gear up, folks, because next up we have the Forum FUD marching into the apocalypse with the battle hymns of yesteryear and all the speed of continental drift. He's a walking museum exhibit, complete with the scent of mothballs and despair, carrying gear older than your dad and just as poorly lubricated as your grandmother. The only thing fresh about this setup is the idiocracy. Yikes.
Man, that sucks! Why?
Let's set the record straight, shall we? It ain't the gear's age. We know that some old milsurp stuff packs a punch. But this character, yeah, he's out there doing the high school mad minute drill, struggling more than when he lost his game of find the little man in the boat with his girlfriend. So stuck in the past, this dude probably thinks TikTok is a new brand of metronome. He once called Apple support to ask if there was an elderly mode for his MacBook. You know, the one that turns everything black and white and removes any app invented after the Cold War. Judgment time is upon us, folks. It's hard not to feel a pang of something, I guess, maybe pity, as he fumbles to demonstrate that his relic can in fact be loaded before the next solar eclipse. Behold, Speedy Gonzalez, so quick with those clips. Yeah, I'm sure it'd actually be useful if only that speed translated into something beyond a nostalgic display of inefficiency.
All right, I'm gonna go cry.
Real shame those skills will be about as useful as a screen door on a submarine once those 303 British rounds are as extinct as your social life. Let's dive into the apocalypse's international aisle and meet a fellow we like to call the Soviet-era survivalist. This guy's tale, well, it's straight out of a Cold War spy novel. His family bolted from a Soviet satellite country with a name so hard to spell, it would give a Scrabble champion an aneurysm. His home country vanished when the Berlin Wall came down faster than my dietary resolutions in February. This dude's arsenal includes a pre-ban relic, an AK so legit it needs its own documentary, and a Mini 14 that's nostalgic for the era when dressing like an extra from a Whitesnake video was peak fashion. His embrace of the American dream and Second Amendment rights cannot be denied. It's like watching a puppy discovering its tail. It's just adorable. Only in America, this guy says, as he amasses enough firepower to make a small country nervous. His weapon skills, well, those are passed down from generation to generation like a cherished family meatloaf recipe, but with more explosions this time and less ketchup. Our hero fortifies his little plot of American pie with the crazed dedication of a soccer mom, dive bombing into a Black Friday brawl over the last half-price flat screen. The 92 riots, oh, they didn't just etch a mark in his history books. They transformed him into a living, breathing monument of prepper of the highest order. This dude was feeling the prepper vibes before it became the hipster hobby of the decade, hoarding jars of apocalypse snacks with all the zeal of a biblical prophet on a deadline. His basement? Yeah, you can forget a man cave. This is a fallout shelter turned survivalist Sistine Chapel, adorned with pickled beets instead of Michelangelo's frescoes, showcasing a collection of fermented delicacies that could survive the next nuclear winter. Pickled herring and dehydrated fish. Yum! He's got more jars of food than there are excuses to skip leg day. His best friend is a roof Korean, and together they plan on coming out of the apocalypse stronger than your uncle's moonshine. We judge this Soviet survivor as base, so raise a glass to the lovable survivalist. May his pantry ever be full and his aim be true. And you guys, make sure to subscribe.